Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm finding out how many dragons I need to beat National Master and chess YouTuber Nelson from Chess Vibes.
What's up guys, my name is Nelson. I'm from the Chess Vibes YouTube channel. Lots of beginner and intermediate tutorials, lessons, rating climbs, live streams, lots of fun stuff over there. And as far as this challenge against I Want Checkmate, I think I'm going to be able to break the record and win against 6 dragons. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think I can do it. At least that's my goal. And so, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. To be honest with you, I've never played a game against a dragon before, so this will be interesting. But I'm excited. It should be fun.
The dragon moves like a knight and a bishop, and I will add 1 extra dragon each game. Let's get started with game number 1. All right, game number 1. We only have a single dragon. I'm going to go with my usual strategy of just throwing it into the middle of the board and hoping for the best because I can't really make a concrete attack out of only a single one.
All right. So yeah, I have a strategy for game 1 here. And basically, I'm just going to push this down because what is one piece can't do anything. So we're just going to go get a queen. And if he tries to stop that, we'll get a queen over here.
We get pawn to a5 right away, and ultimately there's just no way for me to break into the position. Up until now, a lot of my opponents usually push a central pawn, which gives me some line of entry into the king's position, but simply pushing a5 is going to be very hard to stop. I mean, I guess I could run my king over. Let's give this a try. If I can't get into the position, I'm going to try to run my king into the corner and try to get stalemated. Oh, we get h5 right away. Stalemate is not looking very likely. We'll try to hang on to the position for dear life, but ultimately I am zugzwanged and have to move out of the way somewhere.
It's zugzwang. It's zugzwang. You have to move one. And I'll just keep pushing. There we go. All right. Pro tip here. Rooks are good at making waiting moves. So there we go. Now we can get... Ooh. We can get a dragon? Ooh.
Oh, we get a dragon promotion. You'd imagine it's only fair for me to trade a dragon for another dragon.
He took the dragon. Man, is that stalemate if I take it? No, it's not stalemate. Sneaky, though. Almost stalemate. We're going to go get a dragon. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get another one. Okay, I have to make sure it's not stalemate. Dragon? No, there's plenty of places. Okay, we get the dragon. Aha. Let's checkmate with the dragon.
Oh no, we get a dragon promotion. I mean, this might make it a little more likely I get stalemated, but probably not by much.
See, they thought they were going to win with the dragon, but no, I'm going to win with the dragon, actually. This is check, so that can't be a problem. Let's do this check with the bishop.
Whoa, e5 discovered check, only 1 legal move, which is back, which I guess does target the dragon. And if the dragon is defended, I would get stalemated.
Let's see, if I go here, let's defend it. Yeah, he has a place to go to. He can go here.
Wait, oh, I have king to d3. Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, no stalemate for me.
I'd be so sad if I stalemate in the game 1. All right, how do we do this? Let me go here, get some more control. I see a square. I feel like I'm going to mess this up.
Pawn comes up to d5. I am kind of running out of squares, but not by enough to yet be convinced that I'm actually going to get stalemated.
Okay, hold up. There's got to be a checkmate here, right? It's controlling these. Oh, that's... okay, hold on. So this is check.
Ooh, now we're getting kind of close. Only 1 square, and e2 is the only other square that I can move to. Check. Let's move down here.
That's not even checkmate. All right, because he can go here. All right, hold on. We're getting close. We're getting really close. Don't stalemate, Nelson. Don't you do it. All right, I'm going to have to use the rook. I just don't see how to do it with the knight. All right, we'll go here. Good game.
Never have I worked so hard to stalemate myself. But now we have a supported ladders mate on a1. With that, we lose game number 1. Let's go to move on to 2 dragons. All right, we now have 2 dragons on the board, which gives me many more fighting chances, but possibly not enough to win. We'll still try. We'll centralize the dragons.
All right, round 2. We've got 2 dragons to worry about now. Although, honestly, I think my strategy of pushing these pawns all the way down is still valid because... it's only 2 dragons. What are they going to do? I mean, of course, if he starts attacking like some weak spots, we would have to respond. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and get another dragon. There's a principle in chess. You want your rooks to be behind passed pawns. And the reason is because once you start pushing the pawn, you have support from the rook. So I already have the setup on both of these pawns. It kind of makes sense.
Let's go here. Well, I don't want to get booted too quickly either. You know what? Let's go dragon here. No, oh, this is so tricky. Because I want to target f7 and c7, preferably with a fork. The question is, how exactly do I do that? I think his plan is just to push the pawns for as long as he can get away with. So I'm going to slowly approach, but try not to scare him into moving a center pawn so I can get a clean line of sight into either f7 or c7.
He is attacking here. I see what's happening. I see exactly what's happening. So let's play e6 to stop any shenanigans with this.
Oh, we get e6 right away. Okay, so immediately blocking that f7 square, we'll move the knight up to b5. And there are ideas now, or rather, move the dragon up to b5. And there are ideas now of moving the dragon to e5 and targeting c7. d6 not being possible because of the diagonal pin on the king. And the craziest part is if I get dragon to e5 and we do get c6, again, because d6 isn't possible, then dragon to d6 is actually a forced mating idea. It's really interesting because Nelson is going to have to balance creating space around the king so the king can run away if necessary, but also not creating gaps that would allow me to get checkmate.
Okay, this one. This is the next target, I believe. So d6, just yeah, let's go. Oh, I can't play d6. Oh, okay. This is the problem. They look too much like knights. So I'm in my mind, I'm just like, it's a knight, you know? It's a bishop too. Wow, I can't play d6. That is fascinating. So he's gonna go like here and attack this, right? That's basically the play. So, I mean, what if I just keep the knight from getting there, the dragon from getting there? Yeah, that should do it, right? Because if you can't attack this, oh, you know what? He could go like this. Haha. But then it's far away. We can block it somehow. No, that's fine. It's fine.
Ooh, pawn to f6. That is very interesting. That might actually be super concrete. We haven't seen an f-pawn move, I think, in this entire series. It's counterintuitive, but it might actually just work. I mean, obviously I can't move to e5 anymore, so this plan is pretty much dead unless I want to move back to h2 and try to force the issue. I guess I could do that. I'll move back to h2. Again, d6 is still not possible because of the pin, and c6 doesn't work because somehow this is still checkmate. Should the bishop take, the dragon takes back, it covers like a bishop, it checks like a knight, it covers f7 like a knight.
Yeah, I might have to change strategy though against 3 and 4 and 5 dragons because, yeah, that's exactly what he does. So he goes for this. Okay. We can't play d6. We already talked about that. But I could play e5 or I could simply defend. Let's go e5. We'll just block it off.
Ah, but we get e5 instead. So c7 is probably not on the board anymore. Well, I mean, I can always go back, no? Yeah, the problem is even though I can continue to harass c7, it wouldn't be with the same d6 idea. What I can do is try to pivot and go for f7 instead, because instead of this pawn structure, now we have this pawn structure. So you'd imagine that's worthwhile. Let's start by bringing the dragon back to the middle of the board.
Okay, he's coming back around for another attack, but I don't think we care too much. Let's push.
Okay, pawn goes to a4, so he's going to push that past pawn. I'm going to move my dragon back to c4. And my idea is, should he allow dragon to d5, that should be instantly winning. Again, sometimes with these dragons, just keeping the pressure on the opponent is enough to justify pretty much any attack.
Is there any danger? Check, g6. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I could also play d5 now, actually. We could play d5. Let's play d5 now. I feel like we don't want to abandon the basic principles of chess, right? Control the center, get your pieces out. Maybe that's important. I feel like I'm learning some stuff. Even though it's only 2 dragons, I'm kind of like getting some ideas in my mind. So yeah, maybe going forward, I just keep to the basics, you know? Get the center, develop the pieces, that kind of thing. Maybe this isn't the best strat. I don't know. Maybe this is. I don't know. But I don't think there's no like second chances in this challenge. It's like you win or you go home, you know? That's it. So I gotta be smart when we get to 3, 4, 5, 6 dragons.
I was just gonna say you'd imagine the only way to stop this is sacking on d5 and giving up a queen for a dragon, which takes a lot of the oomph out of my attack. I mean, I could shuffle out of the way with check, but then c6, and I end up having to run anyways. And these pawns are kind of stampeding down the middle of the board. Should I actually accept this sacrifice, I don't think that I have any more checkmating ideas, but I would challenge him to corral a dragon without his queen at that point. So I think I am going to accept the sort of gambit.
He takes it. Yeah, I think we just sack the queen and then say, look, what's one dragon going to do to me? I'll just defend and be happy. Let's do it. I think a queen is like a trade, right? A queen for a dragon. It's probably like an even trade. We'll defend the weak spot. He's not going to be able to do anything. Now we can go back to our strategy here.
And unfortunately, it's going to be very, very difficult to penetrate the position with the dragon, or at least a lone dragon. This is typically the point where I would also say the king has to become an attacking piece as well. Everybody has to play offense when there are only 2 pieces on the board. But if you look at the position, none of these squares are safe for my king to move into. So there's actually no point of entry other than, I suppose, d5. But even then I get stopped at e6 and d6. So even though I would love for the king to be an offensive piece, it doesn't seem very likely.
The other strategy that I haven't talked about is winning on time. 5 minutes is not a long time, especially in a game like this where things are kind of crazy. So that's probably legitimate strategy. Just flag him. Don't get checkmated. Oh, I'm glad I'm getting these blunders out of the way in this game. Yeah, okay. Is there any way that this could checkmate me?
Okay, what if I try this? I want to reroute here and give check. I mean, again, I kind of have to play for blunders because if I just keep my dragon hanging around back here, there's never going to be an actual attack. But if I can get something like check and c6, that would be a spectacular blunder, which would allow me to take on d6. By some miracle, I still think that's not winning, but it gives me some sort of fighting chance.
Let's sidestep. He's got these options. He could jump in. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, this should be safe. That doesn't do anything because we just take it. That is so trippy. Like I thought bishop, in my mind I was like, bishop b6, great move. And then he just takes it.
Ooh, okay, the king shuffles over. Yeah, the problem is, ironically, the king has so much space that it's really hard to corral him into a corner. So I'm going to move my dragon back to c4. I'm looking at e6, although it doesn't really do much for me. I'm eyeballing the square, and immediately we are forced to trade off the dragon, and it's just a lone king running around. Let's try and hunt down this rook, but we are getting very cleanly ladders mated on h1.
All right, 2 down. Let's go. Let's go.
With that, we lose to 2 dragons. Let's go to move on to 3 dragons. All right, 3 dragons now on the board. I have way better attacking chances. I just have to be very precise in my coordination of these pieces. I'm gonna start by lining one up on c7 because it does 2 things. It lines up looking directly at c7, but also lines up looking at e5, and centralizing a dragon is almost always a great idea because of the sheer range that that piece gets. I'm also curious to see if he adapts his strategy because I don't think against 3 dragons, pushing the outside pawns is sound anymore. I mean, it might work, but it doesn't seem very safe.
All right, here we go, guys. I'm a little bit nervous now. 3 dragons. I want to... Yeah, I don't know if this is still the correct strategy. He's going to attack these spots, right? That's pretty clear. So what's the best way to prevent that? Yeah, I mean, so if we put a pawn on c6, I don't know, because he can like line up and create weaknesses that way maybe as well. Okay, let me try this. If we can get a tempo, maybe it is worth it to push this. Because if we can tie up one of the dragons guarding a pawn, then essentially I'm playing against 2 dragons again, right? In fact, if I can do that on future games, you know, it might make it more manageable. So let's see how he responds to this.
Oh, but we do get pawn to h5 anyways. Okay, I have really no choice but to lean into it. I'm gonna start by playing this dragon out to a4, also looking at this pawn, pinning it to the king, so d6, or rather d6 protecting c7 is never possible. If we do get h4, I think I just move the dragon to h2, and I don't think there's ever an issue there. I think I'm totally justified in this position, right? Because we get h3, but ultimately that piece is kind of stuck. Now, let's continue with dragon to f4. I'm eyeballing c7 with mating threats, and again, d6 is not possible because of this pin.
You see what I mean? He's going for that. And oh, I'm pinned. That's why he did that. So I can't play d6. Okay, that's fair. But what I can do is just defend.
So you'd imagine the only way to defend it is knight to a6, at which point I can play dragon to b5. I'm hitting the knight, I'm hitting c7 again, and I don't think there's a way out. Am I right? I think I'm right. I hope I'm right. I'm going to play it. Dragon to b5. H5. Yes.
Attacking it again. Wow. Isn't that interesting? But here's the thing. If he has to take, and I take, and he takes, and I take, and he takes, he only has one dragon. Could also sack this pawn if I wanted to for some random check here. Probably doesn't really matter, but it might be useful just to have that open. I think I should do that. I just don't want to, I don't want to like fall for some crazy smothered checkmate where I'm not paying attention. So I'd rather just give up a pawn and get some pieces out. You know what? Queen e7 might be a good idea. Pinning it. Because then even if he takes here, we just take back and you can't take me. Ooh, might have just stumbled upon a brilliant idea using the e-pawn, which is lined up with the king, and then, yeah, you pin it.
Queen to e7, unfortunately. Oh no, I've blundered. Oh, I totally forgot that this was pinned. Oh no. I was going to say unfortunately allows checkmate. Not even close. I get pinned on the e file. I'm going to modestly shuffle out of the way and hope that somehow this stays on the board. But we get a queen sacrifice, and once more it is a dragon against the entire army. Things are not looking up for this lone dragon. We get pawn to d6. I can still play for tricks, but I have to admit that that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to, for the time being, move back to h2 to stop this pawn from advancing, and we get a5 again. My theory has been disproven. Apparently pushing these outside pawns is not only a justified strategy, but when you combine it with a very clever pin, a fast game ending strategy. We get pawn to a2, we're only on move 13, and I am toast. Okay, we'll try to keep the king in the center. There might be stalemating ideas where I like sack the dragon and run away with stalemate, but it's still not a win, so it wouldn't actually count.
And now we can start looking for checkmate. Let's bring the rook up. Let's go check. Oh, that's mate. Yeah, because the knight. Okay. 4. Let's go.
We lost at 3 dragons, but I think we're getting close. Let's go to move on to 4 dragons. All right, 4 dragons on the board means there should be many more tricks for me to play into. I've noticed this outside pawn push idea is a recurring theme, so I'm going to start by playing dragon to h2 from the get-go.
All right, here we go. That's a lot of dragons, guys. That's a lot of dragons. Now it's going to get more challenging. So I almost wonder if I should pivot my strategy and just go back to the basics of like get the pawns in the center, get your pieces developed to good squares, that kind of thing. I'm going to do it. And I'm actually setting a little trap. If he takes that, he's going to get pinned. He's not going to do it, but we'll set the trap anyway. Yeah, I'd like to just get these pawns out. I think it's important. We need control of the board. We need to follow some basic principles here, not get too caught off in the weirdness of the dragon that we abandon the basic principles of chess.
We get pawn to e5 right away, and that's such an interesting resource. Because if I do take, there's always queen to e7, always pins the dragon to the king, and almost always, I'd imagine, would lose that dragon on e5. So I can't walk into the same idea. But what else do I play into, right? Because there's also queen to h4, maybe I defend. Let's do this, dragon to b3, and maybe at some point I get dragon c4 and target f7. Ooh, d5, okay, wait, I think we're getting a little too aggressive, right? Because now I can definitely take. If we get queen to e7, there's dragon b5 check, and then I take on c7 to follow.
And he goes for it. He does go for it, but this is going to allow queen e7 followed by f6 take the dragon, unless I'm missing some crazy move. But this is a very powerful threat, this queen e7. So it's a check, but do I care? Oh, is he wants to go for this. Oh, I see that now. Okay. Ooh, wow. Isn't that interesting? So hold on. If I play, let's just say I play c6. He's going to jump in. I move over. What happens? Am I in trouble? No, I can't move over. I have to give up my queen. Dude, that is nasty. That is so nasty. Bishop d7, knight d... What is this? What is this? Dude, okay. Yeah, this is actually very dangerous. Wow. This is fascinating. That is so fascinating how this happens. I'm thinking we go here. And my plan is after this, we sack and then we take back. And then it's just a question of can we not get checkmated by these guys? Yeah, I think that's our best, because we are threatening this. So he's going to have to go for the trade, which is essentially a sacrifice. So he's going to be sacrificing 2 of his dragons for my queen and exposing my king, right? Wow, that is amazing. How, I mean, only in 4 moves, and we're like about to get checkmated. That's wild.
Okay, so the king moves out of the way. The most obvious idea is just give up the dragon. Just give it up. The queen has to take back, and I give up 2 dragons for a queen. But the king is also very exposed. So there's like dragon takes on d5, and there might actually be some checkmating ideas already, depending on how quick I can get this dragon into the position. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can do, but I think anything else kind of just walks into f6, right? Wait, what if I just... Well, if I play this and then I do walk into f6, it's sort of like I gained myself a tempo to get this dragon into the game, right? And we can transpose into the previous line that I was calculating by sacrificing after I play dragon to f4, and I don't think pawn to f6 makes a huge difference there. So takes, and I think that might even be mate. So yeah, I think I can play dragon to f4. Oh, wait, dragon to f4, queen b4 check? Is that bad? That's probably bad. Well, maybe I just move? No, I'm dropping both of these dragons is the issue. Maybe dragon here? I don't know, I feel like I lose the attack there, kind of. If I do play check, queen to b4 check. Or rather, if I play dragon to f4, queen b4 is check. Dragon here, queen takes, dragon takes on c7, king here, dragon takes. Right? Am I crazy? That looks winning. I don't know, because this also seems so safe and sound. Let me calculate this real quick, because both of these lines make a lot of sense. King takes back, dragon takes with check, king shuffles over seems safest to me, and then like, I don't know, what do I do from there? Like dragon to f4, bishop d6... I don't know. I kind of want to play into this attack. I don't think I need to give up 2 dragons for a single queen. Even though it gives me some initiative, I think there's a world where the pieces get developed while defending against 2 dragons, and I end up in a losing position. So I think I'm going to play into the sacrifice instead. We'll play a little bit of brave chess today instead.
This is craziness. And my plan originally of going here, I don't think would work, because then he takes, I take, and he takes. He doesn't actually lose the... That's exactly what he's going to do. Interesting. So we've got options here, guys. Option number 1, we go for a check and then we sack our queen for one of these dragons. But this would be a fork. He picks up my queen. Although it doesn't matter, it's a trade anyway. So that's an option. Other option is we just defend this. We just play knight here, defend. Because this guy's pinned. Let's defend. Let's just defend it. Now he does have one more, which is potentially a problem as well. Although I don't see how this one can attack this. Oh, actually I do. Here. We have b6 to block it, but then he can jump in with the fork. Yikes. He could also just take this, which is pretty annoying too. He has all 4 dragons in front of my king. Oh no. No, no, no.
Okay, so he doesn't lean into the check. We get knight to a6 instead, which defends c7 again. Now I can take on d5, which also defends this check with the dragon. So I think I lean into that. If I take, what about c6? Check, knight takes, check, queen takes, check, king moves out of the way. Oh, did I mess up this attack? I don't know. I'm just going to lean into it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this pinning idea is very, very hard to play against.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I kind of think we need to go on the offensive here. Yes, we lose the queen, but it's a trade. I doubt he will take that. Trying to set up a situation where I can... Oh, he does. Okay, fine. But at least I get a check, which is going to give me time to play a defensive move. Now, is it going to be enough to survive? I don't know. Maybe if I get the bishop on e6. Here is a sacrifice to lure the dragon away. Don't think that's worth it. I think we should focus on going to a square that's defended. Do we stop this? Here. He only has 2 dragons left. Takes. I don't think I'm getting mated in that situation, honestly. I don't think so. Let's do it. Because even though this looks good, I don't think it's worth it because he has to give up a dragon. Then you only have 2, which is probably not enough.
Yeah, we do get bishop to e6. Okay, if I take, I only have 50 seconds to calculate this. Should I take on c7? Knight takes back, dragon takes on c7. King just moves to c8, and why is that not totally fine for Nelson? That looks totally fine. Well, I guess I could take? I don't know, it's very questionable. I'm down to 33 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna play this. Dragon back to d4, and my idea is sacking on e6 instead. I think sacking on e6 and having centralized dragons gives me way better attacking chances. I might even be able to run the king into a corner and give some sort of mate like this.
He's going for this instead. Bishop here seems good. Defending the... Okay, so he takes. I can't move. I can go here, though. I can go here. It's not checkmate. I don't think it's checkmate. I don't think it's checkmate. Okay. Is there some kind of a weird mating pattern that I'm unfamiliar with the dragons?
I don't know if I actually have mate. I think I might have threefold, but I don't know if I... Oh, and I get pinned again. Oh, these pins are going to be the death of me. I have 9 seconds to figure something out. I guess I'll play check and I can go back and forth. I can run away with a threefold. Yeah, the king shuffles over, check again. I guess the king could even run, and I would have to sacrifice here. I'd only have 7 seconds to play the rest of the game. Well, I guess if the king comes out, I have dragon d4, funny enough, and it actually traps the king and forces him back. So I guess I can force a threefold here, but that's pretty much all that I think I can get out of this position.
Maybe this is the move. Because then he doesn't have a check with the knight unless, or with the dragon, unless he goes here, but then I take this. That's got to be the move. Oh, I can't go there. Nelson, what are you even saying? You can't do that. All right, I have to run and hope that we flag him.
Yeah, king shuffles over, check again, check here, forces the king back, so I'm going to pre-move dragon back to e6, and we do get a draw, but a draw is not a victory, and much less under these circumstances. So we do get threefold repetition, but we do time out the game. I'll go ahead and let my time run out because I know that Pie Chess doesn't do threefold.
Oh, he flagged. I didn't deserve to win that. It was a draw. It was a forced draw if he just kept going back. Oh my. Whew. Heart rate is up. The heart rate is up. Okay, that was too close. That was too close. I have to pivot strategies here for this one.
With that, realistically, we lose with 4 dragons as well. Let's go to move on to 5 dragons. All right, 5 dragons on the board. I think I should just stick with my exact same original plan, except I have an extra dragon, so I should be able to force my way through. I'm gonna go dragon to, well, is dragon to h2? My fear is dragon to h2 is too slow, but I think I want to allow d6 for these sort of tricky check ideas. Let's go a little more aggressive. Let's go dragon to f4 instead, because putting my own dragon on the side of the board just doesn't make a lot of sense, makes it pretty much only useful as a bishop.
Okay, so here's the problem. Here's the problem. The problem was when I pushed my pawns too far, they snuck in behind and I was in trouble. So I can't let that happen here against 5. I cannot let that happen. You know what? I wonder if putting my rook... Oh, that's an interesting strategy, actually. Bringing my rook up would be a smart thing to do. So we could play d6 to shut down 1. I really want to play e6 and threaten this with my queen. Let's do e6 first. I think trading a queen early might be a smart thing. I don't know. I could be way off here. And I also really would like to see about getting the rooks in the game. If we can get a rook, like, you know, and then trade off a rook, that's another pretty good strategy.
Right, we get pawn to e6. If we ever get checked, there's always the idea of dragon to g3, defending the dragon, hitting the queen, defending the king. So, continuing my attack, well, I guess there's also bishop to b4, which I should be careful of. But I always have king to f1 if I move this dragon out of the way now, right? Well, if I move the dragon out of the way now, there's queen check. I defend the king, or rather, I defend the king with the dragon. Queen takes, defend c7 again. Wow, this already got tricky. That's insane. Okay, I'm gonna go dragon to g3. The idea is simple. If we get bishop d6, we can sack for mate. If we get d6, then maybe I find my way onto this diagonal. So we do get pawn to d6. There have to be sacrificing ideas. I just have to be capable of finding them. I think the natural move is check. The bishop would defend. Now, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself, but like throwing the dragon into the position and looking for a sacrifice is immediately very appealing, and I think that might even be mate if it's accepted. The problem is it doesn't have to be accepted. So I need forcing ideas. Well, I guess I would be targeting b7 as well. So bishop c6 would in a way be forced. It's just not very convincing. Okay, I'm going to continue by just developing my dragons. Weirdly, a slow approach, because I feel like I've learned thus far that the faster I can jump onto the opponent's position, the better my attacking chances are, because it doesn't allow the opponent the time to develop their own pieces. And for example, create some sort of counterplay. But I don't think I have that luxury against d6, e6. It just seems too concrete.
Okay, so he kind of is stopping this, because even if I go there, now he just takes, and it's not really... I have to sacrifice a piece just to make the trade. That's a pretty good move. He's attacking this. He might be jumping in and putting the pressure here. So I could still play bishop e7 from that standpoint. But then this is a weakness. And then it's going to get attacked for sure. So what do we do? Do we bring a knight to the center to try to maybe trade for one of these? Let's say he goes here. What's the threat? Yeah, then putting my knight on e5 might make a lot of sense, actually. Because I don't think he's going to give up a dragon for a knight. Okay, let's try to put the knight on e5.
Okay, knight to c6 is super interesting because there could be some sacrificing ideas on c6. The only concern would be bishop to d7 right away. But then that's not really a counterattack, right? So I think that's a justified move either way. Right, bishop d7 would be purely defensive, so I think continuing my own attack makes perfect sense. It would also disconnect the queen from d6, so in some universe I play something like this and just sack on d6 for the mate. Let me rephrase. I think we're in the universe where I'm just gonna play dragon to a3, and I'm threatening to sack on d6 for checkmate. In fact, if we get pawn to d5, I think I'm moving dragon to d6 anyways. Pawn takes, dragon takes, bishop takes would be mate, but I think he sees that idea and plays knight to e5, obstructing my battery even further. The question is sacrificing on e5 worth it? Oh, it's also kind of a discovered attack on two of my dragons, so sacrificing, even if it's not worth it, might be necessary. Oh, that's super interesting. This is what happens when you try to intimidate a national master with silly dragons. Okay, what do I do here? Is it, well, I was gonna say, is it totally insane to just move my king out of the way? Should he take, I have this trappy sack on d6. Should he capture on a4, then I don't have that. And I don't know if that makes any sense, king to f1 at that point. My concern with taking is the pawn takes back and the bishop sees my dragon and the pawn also sees my dragon and the other bishop also sees my dragon. You can see where this kind of goes. I'm gonna try something totally insane. I'm gonna go dragon to c5. I'm just gonna totally lose my head. Should he capture on f3, which I think is a very, very natural move, I have 4 different dragons all pointed at d6. I mean, my plan is anything but subtle, but hopefully I can force my way onto d6 with a checkmating idea. Oh, I moved my king to d1. I meant to move it. I meant to just click on it, but okay. I guess king to d1 will suffice. If bishop to a4, I can always take with the counter check, and we'll see. We'll see.
That was actually a free dragon. And we can take another one. Now, the only thing is it does open me up to this, but I'm going to sack. He's going to take. He's got 2 dragons left. Will I get checkmated? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we're getting mated in this case. And I'm going to pre-move it to keep the pressure on the clock as well.
Okay, yeah, we do get pawn takes, and I think this is my only chance. So check this way. And then we bring the other dragon into play on c5, lure the king out to f6, and surely there's a mating idea. Surely, there has to be, right? Surely I can take. Now, where's the mating idea? Check. We cover this. King goes back to e7, and then check this way. Oh, allows the king to move to d8. Oh, I only have 19 seconds. I think this is my best chance, though. Yeah, king shuffles back. Let's go check. Check, I have 10 seconds. I might just have to take what I can get, right? Because even this knight does a pretty good job of defending a whole bunch of squares. I mean, a lot of these squares are protected by his pieces. Yeah, and I can never get to e5, which seems to be a pretty important square for these dragons to coordinate, as long as that knight is there. So I have to get rid of it. I only have 8 seconds. What are the odds I win this?
Interesting. So he does that. I'm going to go with this cheapo check. And another check. And now let's see. So this is his main threat. So if I can pin one of them, that's going to be very useful. I could also attempt to do a little bishop shenanigans here. So like check and then pin it this way. That might even be better. So let's see. This one I'm not sure what happens here. I guess we just run. I like the bishop though.
Yeah, so I'm going to run this way. Again, I only have 5 seconds, but I'm going to run this way in hopes of not getting caught by the pin.
Ah, he's avoiding it. Okay, that's smart. Ah, now I can force a trade. Now I can force a trade. That's what I needed.
Oh, check here? Oh, and I dropped the dragon! Oh, good find, and with that, I time out.
It's with check. Let's go! Let's go! We beat 5 dragons. We just beat 5 dragons. Never thought I'd say that. Now, it's now or never. 6 dragons. Let's go.
Close, but no cigar. With that, we lose with 5 dragons. Let's go to move on to 6 dragons. All right, 6 dragons on the board. This is the current record, the most that Viper has survived, or I suppose Viper lost at this stage. So we'll try to win this as well. 6 dragons, how do we utilize them best?
I believe he said no one has won against 6. Nobody. So this is it. This is it. Oh, that's a lot of dragons. That is so many dragons. Okay. But that strategy was good. That setup seemed really powerful. Push the pawns, put the knight in the center. Although I did almost get mated, to be fair. But I mean, I feel like it was my best opportunity, you know?
I think I can go for a very similar idea because that earlier check that I was calculating actually works now since bishop d7 is off the board with dragon takes. And I don't know if that's totally insane, but I think at least it makes sense in my skull. So I'm hoping that it plays out the way that I'm imagining it. We'll start by centralizing another dragon. The other thing I have to do is be way better on my time management. Luckily, my starting game yap doesn't count because the timer doesn't start until we get a move from the opponent, but I have to be way better about playing more quickly.
I mean, I could play e5, actually. Wait a second. If I play e5, attack that guy, he can't take me because he gets pinned, and I'm going to be winning it. So e5 might be a good move. Let's say I play e5 and he jumps over here. What happens? c6. He doesn't have any support just yet, so he's going to have to leave. I'm going to go for it. I think we might be able to gain some... Oh, there's also a potential fork, although he just blocks.
Oh, pawn to e5 with the sack right away. So should I take queen to e7 is obviously the idea. Now, do I actually think that works? I mean, I could also just move past with the dragon and still target c7. And I think I like that a little bit better because, believe it or not, I think leaving pawns on the board makes a little more sense since my king is also very exposed from the get-go. And if I want all of these to be attacking pieces, I need all of black's pieces to stay behind other pawns. But we get pawn to c6, the queen can also develop this way now. Maybe I just sacrifice right away. I don't know if that's too desperate, but I feel like dragging out the king is kind of necessary. The problem is check d5. Maybe check again? I just don't know that I'm fast enough. You know what? Maybe I just full lean into the attack with something like this. But then there's always check and then I drop the dragon anyways. Very difficult. And if I move back, I feel like I'm conceding space and then there's d5 to follow. Maybe I just play like dragon here. Should the pawn take, I take back. And I just go full in on the attack. I think I'm going to do exactly that. Queen can't give check anymore because the dragon covers that square.
Ooh. Speaking of which, I think that was a blunder. I didn't see that one. Okay, maybe not. Maybe that was a strategic strategy. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And he's created a hole in the position. Ooh. Okay, so was it actually worth me sacrificing that? Maybe not. I'm going to set a trap, guys. I'm going to set a trap. Is he going to fall for my trap? Is he going to fall for my trap? Please take it. Please take it. Look at this. Please take my bishop. He's not going to take it. He's thinking too long. Man. All right. It was worth a try. It was worth a try.
Okay, bishop to b4 check. Trying to give up the bishop to take some pressure off of the king. Should I take? There's queen to h4 check, hits the king, hits the dragon. And I don't think there's any way for me to defend both of those. So I might just turn it down outright. Move the king over. Well, I don't know. Oh, it's so tricky. Let me not turn it down. I'm going to take my free material. I think it's well earned. If the queen does come in with check, I'll move out of the way. I'll drop the dragon, bring the other dragon in, target f7. And I think that's reasonable.
Okay. I don't like my position anymore. I don't like this. I do not like it. Oh, he took it. He took it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Okay. I could sack. Then we have 3 dragons. Do I have enough pieces to win against 3 dragons? Ooh. I don't know. The other option is just defend, right? Just play knight h6. Don't panic. d5 looks risky. I don't know why. That does allow my bishop to come out, which might pair nicely with the queen. Actually, d5, bishop g4. Then we could even defend, maybe. Maybe I should play d5. Just follow the normal principles. Wait a second. Is there some... No, that's covered. He's probably going to be jumping out at me here soon. Let's go d5. Let's... Hold on. Maybe I should calculate. Check. King moves. Alternatively, I just defend. Let me just defend. I'm not sure about d5. Maybe it's the best move. I'm just not sure about it. Let's just defend for now.
Right, so we do get knight to h6. I have to keep the pressure on the position, and I definitely cannot allow a castling move. So, dragon to c5, hits the queen, hits d6, stops castling.
I think we have a real chance to win this. Ooh, I didn't see that one. Yikes. Yikes. Man, if I could castle and get away from these dragons, though. All right, let's think. If I take, he's probably going to take with this one. If he takes with the other one, I castle and I'm happy. If he takes with this one, How do we get rid of this annoying dragon that's coming in? Oh, I have no idea. Maybe I have to play knight f5. Okay.
The only way I win this is if I can keep the king in the center of the board, and also preferably trade off the queen, although I think the queen is trapped. Okay, so we do get a queen sack, but it's on b3 instead. I'm like 99% sure that's trying to get me to take with the c5 dragon so castling can be played, but I'm going to take with this dragon instead. And the high ground that I have is the dark squares, 100%. My high ground is playing check, bringing the dragon into the middle of the board, and somehow cornering that king on the dark squares before all of these pieces develop, and then I start getting pinned, and we know how that pretty much ends every time. Okay, so d5, very aggressive, probably looking for counterplay. Question is, do I take on d5 before giving check, or do I just give check right away on d6? It would bring the king out, but it would target my dragon. I guess I could just take on e5. I think I give check first, because I don't want to lose the initiative. I definitely don't want to fall into a position where suddenly I'm getting checked, and suddenly there's a rook on an open file, and next thing you know, one of the dragons is gone, and we've already seen how that plays out like 4 times in a row. So I'm going to try to hold on to the initiative as best I can, right? We get king to d8. I think now I do have to take, but this is not a huge concern because the king shuffles over, and I don't believe there's any follow-up.
Oh boy, yeah, this happens now. Spite check. Spite check. And then let me see if we can survive. Do we put the knight here and allow this? And that looks awful. Dragons are so good. All right, maybe I go back to a defensive position. Let him get this. Try to run over here. Just give up those pieces. I don't know, guys. I don't see this ending well. I do not see this ending well for me. And I'm also going to lose on time.
Not to mention, we have him down to 30-ish seconds now, so we should be in a pretty good spot, even time-wise. Okay, the bishop goes back to e6. Kind of invites this check. King comes up to d7, and then maybe just dragon here, because this would be checkmate. And if that gets defended, then I don't know, like dragon to b5, that should also be checkmate. So we'll give check. I'm also making sure that neither of my dragons are attacked. They're both totally safe. They defend each other like bishops. They're having a good old time like brothers over there. Now I just have to bring this one in time to give mate.
And he's bringing in the other dragon to deliver the checkmate. Great. He wants to go here. Oh, I actually defended against this. I didn't even see that, but I defended against that one somehow. I have 13 seconds though. Ah, shoot. Okay.
Again, we've got him down now to 13 seconds, but I do believe, oh, capturing here is not mate because this knight defends. And obviously this isn't mate because it can't see through the knight. Okay, slow and steady. I don't want to give up a dragon by accident. Let's go here, and I reroute to c5. If b6 tries to cover, I take on c6 instead. Oh, we dropped the dragon on e7. How did I miss that? Oh, that's huge. Okay, wait, check this way and maybe I can win it back. And then check here. Aha!
I'm running now. The only time I play chess where I'm actually using the legal move indicator because I don't actually know where I can move.
Okay, he's down to 8 seconds, but I want to win this with a checkmate, not because I timed him out by accident. Let's go. Oh, what do I do here? Shoot. Again, I want to win this by checkmate, but how? If I even can, to be honest.
I don't know if he can mate me actually easily with the 2 dragons.
The king goes back, which makes a lot of sense. Now check. If the king goes back again, oh, but it doesn't. I was going to take on e5. Oh, I'm down to 24 seconds. Oh, I don't think I can force a mating idea. We'll try. We'll give it an honest effort though. Check. King moves down. I think he just has repetition here. I think he found a really nice way out.
It is going to be really close. He's down to 10 seconds.
King comes up. There has to be a mating idea here. Surely. I think I'm just not seeing it.
Am I getting mated? No, he's going to flag. He's going to flag. Go, Nelson. Go. Yes. 6 dragons. Let's go.
Here, king goes back and we do time out. With that, we lose to 6 dragons as well. Let's go to move on to 7 dragons, the record at the moment.
I never thought I would be so excited about beating dragons before, but this is actually... Okay. Breathe. Breathe.
All right, 7 dragons, the most we have ever hosted on a single board ever for anything. Let's see how this pans out. I mean, I'm in new territory as well. I'm not exactly sure how to go about this attack. I don't want to do the same thing I did last time where I played this and then I kind of walked into these sacrificing ideas. So I'm going to centralize this dragon instead. If we do get d5, then there's dragon check, and maybe I have some sort of counterplay there.
Here we go. Here we go. Do I have a new strategy? I think we need a new strategy because I don't think it's going to work what I've been doing because I've been hanging on by a thread and I don't think it's going to continue. So My new strategy is going to be to try to use the rooks. Okay? That's the new strategy. So what we're going to do is bring them up and over into the game right away and see what happens.
Ooh, we get pawn to a5. Wait, there's no way this idea still works. There has to be an attacking chance here for me. There just has to be. I refuse to believe otherwise. I'm going to play dragon to e5, and I'm trying to bait d6 so I can get this check on the board. I mean, I might even be close to the point where I can just sack a dragon to expose the king and have mating ideas. Oh, rook to a6 is super amusing. First of all, has this idea, and second of all, keeps all of the pieces nice and cozy next to the king. I mean, I can still lean into this idea. I'm still threatening mate on c7, so that still has to be defended somehow. If rook to e6, I can still take with check. The queen takes back. I take, covers this. And even though this is pinning the dragon on e4, I don't need that dragon to deliver mate on c7. So I've now pinned this pawn as well, and I actually don't think there's a way to defend c7.
Yeah, so he wants to take this. So I do have to react. I mean, I could even defend it with the rook as one option. But then he's going to take and then come in. Okay, I see that. So we have to play d6, don't we? Interesting. And then he's going to sack and checkmate me. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Maybe this was a bad strategy. But I mean, you don't know unless you try, right? I could play rook d6, though. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I think this is bad. I should have went with the other strategy, the e6, d6. Maybe it was better. But I did what I set out to do. I wanted to beat 6 dragons, and I did it. So this game is just kind of the icing on the cake at this point.
Oh, rook to d6. Brute force blocks the attack, and very effectively. I don't think there's a way for me to get in there now. Now, this is exactly the time where I can find myself panicking, and I just need to not panic. I can just keep developing dragons, and eventually there has to be a checkmating idea. If I develop this way, I kind of allow e6 with counterplay. So maybe I'll develop this way instead, right? f6 isn't an effective defending move because I still have mate. Knight to h6 is probably the only idea that holds on to the position.
I bet he's going to take this. No, he's setting it up. I have a sacrifice here, but this is too dangerous, right? So we have to deal with that. Let's defend it. Yeah, the reason this is so hard is because the dragons can attack you so fast that you don't have time to like consolidate and put your pieces where you want. It just happens almost instantly because they move with the bishop, bam, and then the knight is jumping over stuff and hitting things. That's what it's like a weird combination. It's really hard to play against because we're only on move 4. We are literally only on move 4, and I'm like about to get checkmated a million different ways. You know, it's just insane.
Right, we do get knight to h6. I'm just trying to stretch his pieces thin enough that I can actually have a breakthrough. Now, what about dragon to h5? I feel like that allows g6 a little too easily. Oh, but then I can take, pawn takes, I take, pawn takes, I take. No, but there's still not a breakthrough. That's so insane. Holy cow, he's really holding on very well here. It's just very hard to find a breakthrough. Let's go this way with it instead. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think this makes sense. Targeting f7, just targeting it again with more pieces. If we do get e6, I'm happy to give up a dragon for a queen because I think I actually have more material depending on what you think the dragon is worth. So I think this would be considered, if not a fair trade, maybe even a favorable trade. Or wait a minute, no, if e6, then I can just take. Pawn takes, bishop takes, check, and that should just be mate. Okay, so I think, I don't want to speak too soon because every time I say I think we're close, he finds an insane move that completely obliterates my idea. So, but this time I do actually think that we've stretched his resources sufficiently thin that there are just too many attacking ideas. Now, how much of that is actual finesse and how much of that is just the fact that I have 7 dragons, for crying out loud, on the board is a debatable point, kind of. But I think we have managed to finally, mostly by brute force, overwhelm the position.
He almost has like a crazy sacrifice, but it doesn't quite lead to checkmate, I think. Maybe it does, actually. No, he needs another knight. Yeah, he needs another one, which he now has. Yeah, I think we're done. I think we're done here because if I play e6 to block this, the problem is this: he's gonna take it, he's gonna take it, he's gonna take it, and that's checkmate. I'm pretty sure this is where the challenge ends. Trying to think if there's any way I could survive. If I could move my queen and run, but we can't do that. This is about to get sacrificed on in checkmate. So yeah, e6 loses. It's by force because when he takes here, I only have the option of taking back and getting mated, which is really sad. Yeah, this was a bad strategy. This was a very bad strategy. If I move here, I guess I temporarily stop the checkmate, but it does open up this. We'd have to sack the queen. He comes in. No, that's checkmate. That's just checkmate. Can't even do that. Yeah, it's over, isn't it? Trying to find a move, you know, like one move to let the game go on, but there's no moves. I've sort of smothered myself actually here with my king being trapped, which was a bad strategy as well. Yeah. So for future reference, a5, rook a6, terrible plan. Don't do it. I wish I would have played my normal strategy against the 7 dragons. Well, you know what? You live and learn. I'm going to just assume he doesn't see the checkmate. Play e6, but I'm sure that he does. I'm sure that he does. I just don't have any other attempts. Oh, hold on. Could I go check and play d5? Obviously, it's not good. He takes me. And then like e6. That's obviously very bad, but do I survive another couple of moves? No, I don't survive. All right. Good game. Good game. We put up a fight. We put up a fight, guys. What can I say? Dragons are too strong.
Okay, we do get pawn to e6. He spent enough time on the clock that I'm pretty sure he already sees the sacrificing idea. Let me just make sure that it works. Takes, check, and that should be mate. Yeah, so we will take, and this is already a forcing sequence. We do take back with the dragon, and with that, we do finally defeat the national master, and it only took 7 dragons on the board.
7 dragons is insane. Yeah, he sees it. Well played. Yeah. It's okay. New record. I'm happy. And I think I could have done better if I didn't play this stupid rook a6 thing. I just wanted to try it. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. Thank you. I won checkmate for the challenge. I appreciate it. This was great.
If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Nelson, aka Chess Vibes, will be the first link in the description. Definitely go check him out. He does very instructional and fun videos as well as live streams. I will see you guys in the next one.